Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author, book cover designer, and also the creator of AuthorTube Academy. And today we're going to be talking about how to make friends with other writers. Like I said, I feel like this is a weird video to make, but oddly enough, it's actually a question I get a lot. Like, people see that I'm an author-tuber, I'm friends with other author-tubers and other writers and different things like that, and they're like, how do you get to be friends with these people? And the basic answer is, you be friendly. But I'm also going to give you some tips and maybe even a little bit of etiquette, because there's been some issues over the internet and I don't want you to have those issues. So I'm just going to jump straight into the issues because I just want to address them up front. So some people can be a little pushy when they want to be friends with people on the internet. And by pushy, I mean I've gotten messages from complete strangers and they just start off by introducing themselves and they say they're a writer and then they say, I want to make friends with other writers, will you be my friend? And all good intentions are there, but it's sometimes weird and even sometimes creepy the way some people ask that. So as someone who gets a lot of messages like this, my suggestion to you as the random stranger is not to do that. So let me give you a little background. You can't force friendships. So with that in mind, if you like sit down one day and you're watching YouTube and you say to yourself, I want to be friends with that girl. One, that's creepy. Two, don't actually say that to the person. So basically, I'm joking around with this because I don't know how else to address it because it's weird and I know I'm not the only one who's had this issue. But if you want to be friends with someone, just talk to them. Like, not in a creepy way, not in a super personal, like, how do you be friends with someone? You just comment on their stuff online and you just start talking to them like a normal person, and you don't need to give them a whole background of who you are and why they should talk to you. If the friendship forms, it forms. If it doesn't form, it doesn't form. It's not someone else being rude, it's not someone else hating you, it's just you can't force a friendship. So with that said, I have been so far strictly talking about forming friendships online, but you of course can form friendships with writers in person as well. I personally am not good at forming friendships with writers in person, mostly because most of the writers I know, like, who live in my area are a lot older than me. Nothing wrong with that, but as a 22-year-old, if I want to talk to someone and be friends with someone, it's probably not going to be someone who's 60 years old, and they probably don't want to be friends with me. That's just how it works. And I'll also let you know that people bond over shared experiences. So if you're trying to make friends with a huge YouTuber, you're probably not gonna make friends with them, not because they're like bitchy and they don't feel like associating themselves with you. It's just because oftentimes people with large followings will put walls up because we don't know if people are friends with us because they want to be friends with us, or if they're friends with us because they want to take advantage of our following and they think that if they're friends with me that they'll get a following too. Like, that's just the weird stuff like that happens on the internet all the time. And the reason, like, myself, like, I'm friends with other author-tubers is because we have that in common. We're author-tubers. We've had the same weird, creepy experiences. We can share weird horror stories of stuff that has happened to us, and we can also talk about, of course, writing. And I guess that's when you know you're friends with someone, is that you're talking about not only writing, but sometimes your personal life and different things like that. I can tell you there's a lot of people I talk to on Instagram, and I'm not sure if I would call them friends yet, but I know they actually have the potential of being my friend because they talk to me in a nice way and they comment on my stuff regularly, and I know them, I recognize their username. If they started contacting me with more personal stuff, it wouldn't be weird, it wouldn't be creepy because we've already started this like relationship. But if you just start talking to someone out of the blue and get real personal real fast, that's creepy and people tend to put their brakes on. Okay, so that was a little bit of joking around. I like to make people aware, because some people just kind of sort of lack internet skills and etiquette, and people can go in with all these good intentions and then it just comes across creepy, and that's weird, and we don't want to come across creepy. But I'm gonna give you like real tips, and I'm gonna tell you where you can meet people, like actual writers, and that would be online and offline. So the first place you can meet people is at book clubs. Surprisingly enough, people who read books actually like to write books as well. So that's a great place to meet other writerly friends, because you're there truly to discuss. So you're forced to talk to each other, and you'll bond first over the book, and then you'll bond hopefully over other things, and then all of a sudden you have a friend. But the book club can either be online or in person, because both of those do exist. You can also meet writers at writers groups. Now I dread writers groups, because it feels like whenever I go there I leave with homework, and not the good kind of homework. But writers groups are basically in the local area. All these writers come together and they critique each other's work. Now I had a hard time finding a writers group for me, because I just couldn't find people in similar genre. But if you are looking for writers groups, go to your local library and go to small local bookstores, because those are the places that tend to host them. And they host other events as well, where you'll probably meet other writerly friends. Another great place, and maybe one of my favorites besides like Instagram, because I meet a lot of people through Instagram, a lot of awesome people on Instagram. So if you've talked to me on Instagram, that's a personal shout out. But another great place is Facebook groups. Facebook groups are awesome. I can't tell you how great they are. There are so many great ones out there that I'm actually going to link a few of them down below. You can visit them. These are specifically for writers. So you can go there, you can ask questions, and hopefully when you ask questions and you see other people in the comments, that maybe after a while, after you've commented to a few people, you'll start to kind of form a friendship. It happens naturally. You can't force it. That's gonna be the mantra for today. You can't force it. Writing retreats are a super fun place to make friends. I've gone to 2 different writing retreats now. I've gone to the AuthorTube retreat, and then I've gone to the Wonder Writers retreat hosted by Jesse Elliott and Evie Driver. One of my favorite retreats, I do have to say, and we actually did get some writing done. But that was just it. The writing retreats are so awesome. You have a hard time actually writing, I do have to say, because you're so busy talking to each other that you can't sit down and calm yourself down enough to write, because you're just so excited because you're with your people. I personally just don't have a lot of friends that live around me that write, so when I do see them, it's like we can't shut up. We just all have to talk. Another great place is writing workshops and writing conferences, because that's just chock full of writers who share the same things as you do. Now, these conferences and workshops can be online or they can be in person. It's easier to make friends with people in person. It's a little bit harder online, because it's harder to make that personal connection with people if you're even able to talk to the other people in the conference. And if you're not able to talk to the other people in the conference, usually a conference will have a hashtag, and then so you can just follow that hashtag, say on Twitter, and you can talk to the other conference goers there on Twitter. And of course, the last place, the obvious place, is social media. Like I said, Instagram's probably my favorite place to make friends with people. But yeah, it's just all about what platform you prefer, where you feel like you meet the most friendly people. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here. I feel like this was a really weird video to make. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. If you didn't enjoy it, don't let me know. So yeah, if you have any other tips or advice on how to make writerly friends, let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to stay up to date with everything that I am doing, be sure to subscribe to my author newsletter. When you subscribe, you get free stuff as well as access to my author platform webinar. Thank you for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe.